Okay, welcome back. We're still working with the breath. One of the concepts that I talk about with the breath relate to breaths that create charge, breath that creates flow, breath that creates release. Okay? And it's really good to know when you're going into a situation maybe that scares you or you have anxiety about, that your embodiment needs a charging breath, right? Or if you're in a situation where you're binding up or you're feeling really stuck or you've like got rigidity, your breath needs to shift into a flowing breath, right? Or if you're just feeling like you need to release, like let go, and it's not really safe to let emotion out, but you're feeling a buildup of emotion, you can find that a breath that's a releasing breath is going to really support you. So essentially what we're talking about today is supporting yourself, supporting your container, supporting your being through breath. Okay? So this is a little complicated, right? Because the first thing you have to do is check in with your embodiment. Now, if you check in and you're not there, you don't feel yourself, that's a sign you don't feel safe. And if you feel that all the time, it's a sign you habitually don't feel safe. So that means you've got to go gentle, okay? That doesn't mean you have to push yourself in your body, right? Your body as a vehicle is not safe to you, and it's going to take some time, right? Maybe take years to be able to make it safe for you. But the charging breath is a breath that invites you to just come in, okay? Now, charging breaths are like cardio, right? Cardio is actually a charging breath, right? If you're doing some sort of exercise that's making you breathe heavily and you stop and get still, consciously bring it down into your body, the sensation and the feeling, you have a charge in your body from it. Everything with embodiment requires choice. This concept of choice is intermingled in everything. Choosing to breathe different, choosing to play with breath, choosing to move different, choosing to play with movement, right? You have to have the concept of choice to feel safe. Not push, not have to, not supposed to. But I want to know what it's like to live in this body with more eros or more aliveness or more vitality, right? So the charging breath, right, is the easiest charging breath is a breath of fire. And I'm probably going to do a whole breathwork thing about the breath of fire, right? Because it's just really cool. But for today, I'm going to suggest a couple different things. Because today is more about play, less about the experience, right? So the first breath I'm going to ask, or not even breath because it involves movement. If you need charge, movements can be really helpful, right? Is just to stomp around. Just right? And bring your energy down as you stomp around until you feel your feet. If you can do it in a rhythm, right? That's going to be healthier for you because that resets your nervous system. Okay. But a charging breath without movement. All of my exhale is going towards where I'm concentrating. So I want you to pick a place in your body. Doesn't matter where. I'm going to try to explain this because it's a little bit weird, but it's basically I'm going to inhale through my nose, and then I'm going to exhale down into that place where my tongue is going to go to the top of my palate. So my tongue is kind of closing off my airway a little. So the air is dispersing and my attention span is going inwards to a part of my body. I want you to watch, because if you see energy, you might actually see what I'm doing, right? So I'm going to focus on my upper chest, okay? And I'm going to charge it, right? So as I breathe, all of my breath, all of my focus, and all of my attention is going to my upper chest. I'm charging it. I'm charging it with my intention, attention, and breath. Okay? And we'll play with this more with the experiential. I understand it's kind of a hard thing. It's actually a hard thing to teach, how to do this breath, because it's a noise and it's a feeling and it's a sensation. And when you get it, it's like, oh, there it is. But it's not like that breath of fire that's like really easy to teach and get into. Okay? So the next breath is a flow breath, right? And again, body movement comes into this. So if I'm with someone and I start to feel myself tense up, right? Sitting here tensely and breathing, or not breathing, right? Totally ineffective. Doesn't help me, doesn't really help the person I'm with. Relationship kind of gets stagnant, right? But if I start to bring flow in, it's going to start to come in my body. Like, I'm going to start to move with some flow. It's not going to be really conscious. It's just like a sinuous action. So just try it. And notice what happens to your breath. Like, I notice how when I bring in that sinuous kind of movement, I notice my breath, and my breath gets sinuous. My breath starts to flow. And if it doesn't, I'm going to make it happen. So if I'm in a situation where I start to move and I'm still really uncomfortable, and I'm like almost like going through the motions and it feels brittle, right? It's just like, okay, slowing down my breathing. So this is one of those places where the exhale is going to be longer than the inhale, right? And sometimes it's going to feel really right to let it come out of the mouth. Sometimes with a sound, right? Because we want to release all this jaw tension, all this neck tension too. So it's like breathing in and then, right? How many times have you done a yoga class and done, is that like a lion's breath, right? That's a flow breath. It's inviting flow. So just try it. Lion's breath has a little bit of intensity to it that I'm not bringing in here. This is about release. And then just take a moment here to feel how you feel. There's more flow. See if you can even bring your breath all the way down to your feet, just with attention. If you can't, no judgment. Just be with yourself where you're at. So the last breath style that we're going to talk about is a release breath style, right? And a release breath style, I think actually, if I'm like thinking about it, is more the lion's breath, right? Because we're going, right? So we're like actually releasing, right? But so you're in a situation where you can't emote, or you just feel tension building and you're trying to like be a little bit professional, right? You might need to go to the bathroom for this and do it in a stall. You might need to like, it's that's why I said be a bit professional, because it might not be, we'll work with the way to do it quietly, but it might need to be louder to actually create the release you need, right? So this is a breath where you breathe and you consciously access what's needing to be released, right? So you access this sense in your body, like agitation, or this isn't right, or like something that's running really fast. Access it with your breath. Go to it. Okay. And then stay with it, hold it, maybe even tense it, and then Do it 3 times. One more time. And then just feel it. Do you see how all these breaths can be used together too? That it can be really fun to play with them? Oh my gosh, I just did that release breath and now I need a flow breath. Or oh my gosh, I just did this this grounding, calling myself in breath, this charging breath. And now I have something that needs to be released. And now I feel some flow. So again, situationally, play with this. The invitation is to play, not become something different than who you are. This is about you becoming a friend to yourself and your body. Thanks for listening.